If you've ever stared at a blank presentation and thought, where do I even start? This video is for you, because today I'm going to show you how to build a professional, polished presentation from scratch using 3 tools that work incredibly well together: Storyblocks, Claude, and Canva. And here's the thing, a lot of people talk about using AI to write content, but the part that actually makes a presentation look professional, that's the visuals, the stock footage, the images, the background music. That all sets the tone. And that's what Storyblocks handles, and that's the real focus of today's tutorial. I'm going to use Claude to build out the outline and even generate the Canva presentation directly inside Claude, but Storyblocks is the creative engine that takes everything from rough draft to ready to present. And before we jump into the demo, I want to take 60 seconds to talk about why Storyblocks is such a game changer for creators and business owners who need to produce presentations on a regular basis. And I want to thank Storyblocks for sponsoring this video, but I've been using them in a ton of my videos ever since I was introduced to what they offer, and I've been pleasantly surprised. Most stock asset sites charge you per download, so every image, every video clip, every music track adds up fast, and if you're producing content at any type of volume, those costs can spiral out of control and add up fast. But Storyblocks flips that model entirely. It's an unlimited subscription, one flat fee, and you get access to a massive library of royalty-free stock video, images, audio tracks, and templates. And just visit the link in the video description below. You'll also get 15% off that one-time fee. And we're talking millions of assets, everything from cinematic B-roll to professional photography to background music that actually sounds good. And because it's unlimited, you're not second-guessing every download. You just grab what you need and keep moving. So, with that being said, let's create a professional presentation with Claude, Storyblocks, and Canva. So the first thing we need to do before anything else is connect Canva to Claude. And this is actually one of my favorite things about Claude. You can connect it directly to tools like Canva so they work together inside the same interface. And here's how to set that up. In the left sidebar, click the Customize icon. From there, open the connectors. And then click that plus icon in the top right, and this will let you add a connector. And then you'll see a prompt to browse connectors. Go ahead and click that. And this opens the connector directory. You'll see a bunch of popular options here, but we want Canva, and it's the first one listed there, which is nice. So go ahead and click on that. And then you'll see a connect button in the upper right. Click that again. And then it'll walk you through the authorizing process. Go ahead and click allow. And just like that, they are connected. And once it's done, you'll see Canva listed under your active connectors and all of the settings on the right-hand side. Now Claude and Canva are working together and we're ready to build. So from here, let's go ahead and open a new chat. Then before we type anything, we need to make sure the Canva connection is active for this conversation. So click that plus icon in the message box. Then from that menu, go to Connectors and select Canva. And you should see it toggled on. If it's off, just flip that little switch on. Now we could use Canva in Claude. And one important note here, anytime you want to use Canva, you'll need to start every prompt with the word Canva followed by a colon, and then enter the prompt. This will ensure that Claude knows to use Canva whenever it's creating. And for this presentation prompt, I've entered create a presentation outline for a 6-slide business pitch for Sagewave Media LLC, a marketing agency targeting small business owners. Include a slide title and 3 to 4 bullet points for each slide. Modern design, bright and energetic, which is white plus a vivid accent with bold and punchy typography. And then we'll send that through and Claude gets to work. You could see the little Canva icon appear, letting us know that the connection is working. Beautiful. Then in a few moments, Claude comes back with a structured outline card right in the chat. You could see the first few slides listed, but notice that it shows a +2 more pages link in the bottom left of the card. Go ahead and click that, and that will expand so you can see the full outline before you do anything else. It's worth reviewing every slide to make sure the structure and talking points are what you want. Then, if you're happy with it, click the Generate Design button in the upper right corner, And that's when Claude builds the generation prompt. And here's something worth flagging. You'll see a red warning banner at the top of the prompt that says to use caution before running it because malicious conversation content could trick Claude into taking harmful actions. That's just a standard safety notice and appears whenever Claude is about to take an action using a connected tool. In this case, it's completely fine. So just review it, confirm everything looks good to go, and send it through. Then after a few moments, and I'm fast forwarding for the sake of time, Claude generates multiple design candidates for you to choose from. You'll see the thumbnails appear right inside the chat there. No need to leave the interface. And then you could click through each one to preview it. Now, one thing you'll notice as you're browsing is that some of the slides are light on copy. Certain text placeholders might be missing or only partially filled out. This is a known limitation of how Claude and Canva communicate during the generation process. I'm sure in future updates this will be fixed, but the design structure and layout come through great. But sometimes the text doesn't fully transfer over on every slide. Don't let that throw you off. It's a totally normal part of this workflow, and it's an easy fix. Because once you open your chosen design in Canva, you can use Canva's built-in AI to populate and update the copy on any slide in a few seconds. And I'll show you exactly how to do that in just a bit. All right, once you pick a design candidate that has the layout and visual style that you like best, click Open Canva in the top right, and this will let you bring it into your Canva workspace. It will give you a shareable link, but you could actually click through that and it will take us to Canva. All right, once we're in Canva, that's also where Storyblocks really takes over because the assets that we grab from Storyblocks are what transform this from a clean template into a custom and professional presentation. All right, next head over to Storyblocks, and there's a link in the video description below that'll take you right there. And when you land on the homepage, you'll see a search bar with some filter tabs across the top. For our first type of media, we're going to be looking for some images. So go ahead and click on Images. And then in that search bar, type something that fits your presentation theme. For this example, I'm going to type Modern Office and hit Enter. And then check that out. We get over 31,000 results. And these aren't low quality filler images. These are professional, high resolution photos that you'd expect to pay individually for on other platforms. There's photos, snapshots, vectors, illustrations. It's all in here. And you could filter by orientation, color, and media type to narrow it down fast. Then whenever you find one you like, just click on it. And this will open the preview page. And here you could see the full image, check the file details, and then if you want to download it, go ahead and click that download button. And just like that, it's yours. No pre-image fee, no licensing headache. It's already covered under your Storyblocks subscription. All right, next, let's find some video footage to use on our slide backgrounds. So a couple ways to get there. If you're at an image detail page, you could click that filter drop down in the search bar and then select footage. And then type in a new search term, and I'm going to use business collaboration. And in a few moments, we get over 21,000 results. And check out the quality of these clips. These are the kinds of shots you'd see maybe in a TV commercial or a corporate brand film. Real people, real environments, cinematic lighting, no AI generations. This is professional grade footage, and all of it is royalty free under the Storyblocks subscription. Then you could hover over a clip and preview it right in the grid, or you could click on it and you'll get a better view on the detail page. And then here's where you'll pick your format and file size. You've got a handful of options here, but for a presentation, the 4K MP4 at 23.7 MB is a great balance of quality and file size. And then once you select your format and file size, go ahead and click the download button. And just like that, you have some footage for the presentation. All right, then moving on to the last piece of the puzzle in terms of media from Storyblocks is background music. So if you click the audio menu tab in the top of the nav, but if you click Explore Audio, that takes you into the dedicated audio library, which has its own search bar and filter system. From here, just type a keyword or key phrase of the type of music that you want. And for this example, I'll search for motivational music and send that through. And then check that out. We get over 8,000 results, and you can even preview every single one right here without leaving the page. Just hit the play button on any track to hear it, and let's check it out. Awesome, sounds great. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and click the download button there over towards the right, and this will allow you to download that track to use. And you have the option to download it as an MP3 or WAV file. And this is one of those things people skip that they really shouldn't. The right background track makes a presentation feel polished and intentional, and because everything on Storyblocks is fully licensed, you could use it in a client video, post it on YouTube, whatever you need, without worrying about copyright claims. All right, now that we have some images, video, and audio from Storyblocks, let's head back to Canva, and it's time to bring everything together. So the first thing I want to do is upload the video file into Canva. So to do that, click Uploads in the left sidebar. Then click that Upload Files button towards the top. And your file browser should open. Go ahead and find the video that you want and select it. And then you'll see it start uploading there in your media library. Just give it a second to finish. Then once it's uploaded, click on it, and that'll drop it into the slide. And it will land on the canvas as a regular element, but you could drag the corners to resize it and cover the full slide area. Then here's the important step that a lot of people miss. The video is sitting on top of everything right now, which means it's covering some of the graphics and maybe some of the text. But to fix that, just right-click anywhere on the video, and that'll open the context menu. Then go to Layer and select Send to Back. That pushes the video behind all your other slide elements, so your text and graphics sit on top of it. And the slide's looking great, but we've got one more thing to do. I want to add a dark overlay so the text stays readable against the footage. So one way to do that is if you click Background on the left sidebar, and then from those color swatches at the top, I like to select a dark color. Black works perfectly for this. That drops a solid color layer behind the slide. Then, if you click the transparency icon in the toolbar, a slider will appear, and you could drag it in to dial the transparency. And this allows the black background to appear through the video, creating an overlay effect and allowing the text to pop a little bit more. And speaking of text, it's the color black, so it does kind of make it a little difficult to see here. But if you click and highlight on that text, you could easily change the color of it by clicking the font color picker in the editing toolbar, and you could change the font to any color you want. And I'm going to change it to white so that it pops even more. Then another important detail about this video is that by default, it doesn't play on a loop. But if you click Edit in the toolbar at the top of the screen, this opens the video configuration settings, and towards the bottom left there, if you flip that play on repeat switch on, you could set the playback to a continuous loop. This ensures that the video keeps playing regardless of how long the slide is. All right, next let's add some background music. So go ahead and visit the Uploads tab on the left sidebar, and then click Upload Files again, and find the audio file from Storyblocks. And once again, it will take a second to upload to your media library. Just give it a second. And then once it's done, click on it, and Canva automatically drops it into the presentation timeline at the bottom of the screen. You can see the audio waveform running across all the slides. That music will now play during the entire presentation. All right, next, let's talk about the slides that came through light on copy. This is where Canva's built-in AI really saves the day. So navigate to one of the slides that's missing content, then click Ask Canva in the toolbar at the top, and a panel will open on the left with options including to redesign the page, add background, and change the style. But then if you look at the bottom, there's also a text field where you could describe what you want. And for this example, I'm just going to say, add 3 bullet points to this slide about AI-powered marketing tools for SEO, blogging, and paid ads. Then go ahead and send that through, and Canva AI gets to work. And it takes a few seconds to generate, but once it's done, you'll see that it added the 3 bullet points to the slide. And from here, you can edit the copy, you can resize it, you can add more images. This template really gives you a lot of freedom, and with the addition of the media from Storyblocks, you could really take it to the next level. And for the sake of time, I'm going to quickly work through the remaining slides, like uploading and placing Storyblocks images and videos where they belong, dropping in business collaboration footage on the slides that need motion, and then asking Canva AI to fill in any copy gaps. Every asset from Storyblocks, whether it's a still image, a video clip, or an audio track, lifts the quality of each slide. That's the difference between a presentation that looks generated and then one that looks produced. And with that, all 6 slides are finished and ready to go. You can see the full deck in the slide panel at the bottom. Every slide has content, every slide has visuals, and the audio track is running across the whole thing. Then let's preview it. So click the present button in the top right corner of Canva, and this will open a full screen preview of the presentation. And let's check it out. I thought it looked great. Every slide in this deck has professional grade visuals from Storyblocks behind it. The video footage, the photography, background music playing underneath of it, all of it came straight from one platform, downloaded in a few minutes, and then dropped right into Canva. And that's the combination. Claude gave us the structure and the speed, Canva gave us the design framework and the AI tools to fill in the gaps, and then Storyblocks gave us the professional grade creative assets to make the whole thing look professional. And if you want to try Storyblocks for yourself, there's a link in the video description below that also gets you 15% off. It's genuinely one of those tools that I recommend to anyone who produces content or presentations on a regular basis. The unlimited model just makes sense once you see how often you actually need assets. And if you found this video helpful, drop a like, leave a comment below, and subscribe if you want to see more tutorials like this. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. So that's going to do it for this video. If you found it helpful, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Blog with Ben YouTube channel. Also, if you're looking to start a blog, check out these 2 videos on how to build, grow, and monetize a WordPress blog. They'll walk you through the entire process step by step. And as always, your support means a great deal to me and my family, and for that, I thank you. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.